Hello, welcome to the first ever Pedalboards Doom live. I'm Lee, this is James.
Hello guys, hello Lee.
Hi James, how you doing mate? Right, okay, so just a little bit about what you can expect from us, and this will grow. What we want is your input back from us, so we can change it up and make it in the best show that we possibly can. It's fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so what we're going to do is today we are going to demo the Stone Deaf Warp Drive. Fantastic pedal, really, really versatile, but we'll come on to that shortly. Okay, what we will offer you is what pedals sound like through various different guitars. We've got Strats, we've got Les Pauls, we've got basses, we've got a bass amp, we've got Ibanez's, cheap guitars, expensive guitars, all sorts of things in the middle. And we'll offer it through various different amps. I've got a Marshall JCM 2000 here. It's been a good workhorse for me, and you use a very similar amp, don't you?
Yeah, I use a TSL 100, which is, I think it's the one up from that one. It's the only difference being I think it's got a third channel, so it's just got, I would say, like a heavy metal channel. It just goes a bit sort of more distorted, basically, you know, 20.
Yeah. See, that one's got two different overdrive channels on it,
right? Okay.
But I think your one's split. It got both of them, so you can switch between the two.
Yeah, yeah.
So we also have over here. We've got a little Ibanez TA15H, TSA15H, which is an Ibanez amp which will switch between 5 watts and 15 watts. I think it goes between Class A and Class AB. I'm not 100% sure on that. Beautiful thing about that is it's got a tube screamer built into it, so that shows all the people who've got the little lunchbox heads. We've got a transistor amp set up to be a little bit like a Fender, because we haven't got a Fender at the moment. Keep buying pedals, we will have a Fender. Right, we want to get things like AC30s and that sort of thing in here, so we can have as much in here as possible to show you what the pedals sound like through your setup, and that's the main thing for me.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, diversity in sort of equipment and that.
Yeah. Different
tones from different amps and guitars, etc. Completely.
That's it.
You know.
We don't want to do too much chatting, we want to get on with the playing, but I will explain that what we will have is pedal news, so any sort of pedal news that comes out, when we get NARM and that sort of thing, obviously that'll be a heavy section. Times like this, there isn't really that much heavy news, you know?
No.
We'll also be having little games, so we'll be having little playoffs and that sort of thing, just to keep it fun. And yeah, anything else have I missed?
I don't think so. Shall we move on and do a demonstration of this pedal?
Yeah, okay. So this here is the Stone Deaf Warp Drive. James, can you chuck it up? Right, okay, so what we have is, it's not like your standard overdrive pedal. Firstly, it's got an inbuilt noise gate, which I know certain things like the MXR 5150 and that sort of thing do, but it's rarer than it is common.
Right, okay.
The EQ section on it is really, really different, but it allows, if you can get your head around it, which will help you to today, it really allows for so very, very, very much. It changes the bandwidth, which we'll go into a bit more detail. This can go from subtle plexi sort of sounds, even like subtle clonny sort of sounds. Not quite in the region of a clon, but you got some really nice bluesy sounds, didn't you?
I used it on a gig for one evening, and I got anything from sort of really mild to complete extreme sort of overdrive sounds. I mean, yeah, it was singing at one point, basically.
Yeah, if you've ever had plastic surgery, don't use this because it will melt your face.
It does, yeah, when I say it goes to extreme, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
That end of extreme, you know.
But if you've got everything from there to there, you've got everything you need.
Yeah, I'd agree, definitely.
Something else we're going to do in our videos is we're not just going to praise these pedals. If there's bad points, we will give you the bad points, such as this does take some getting your head around, but like I say, if you get your head around it, it's brilliant, really, really good.
When I first had a go of it, it was the EQ that was just dramatically different from a normal pedal. I mean, you think about Tube Screamer, it's you know,
3 knobs and
you know, your generic gain, level and tone sort of thing. The EQ section on this, I believe it's possibly, is it parametric or something like that? I think it might be described that. So it's in its nature, it's a completely different beast. You know, when I first used it at first, I was sort of tonally, yeah, just every side of the spectrum. You know, very unusual.
Right. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the pedal, but before we do, we've got a little video of it. So here it is. Right, brilliant. Okay, right. So what we're going to do is going to show you a picture of James playing it while the pedal's being played. I'm going to play with the settings and try and set it up a subtle sort of play. Thanks. Right, okay. So let's chuck that pedal in. So you can hear a bit of buzzing now. So James, turn your volume up.
It goes anything from subtle to
I should say so.
destruction.
Yeah, it's pretty mad. I hit some settings on there which the creator Luke Luke Hilton of Stone Deaf, he did turn around to us and say, you know, there are some like bloody hell. Yes, that guy.
Words.
There's some really nice way of getting some very mid-scoopy sort of sounds. You can get those sort of Metallica, Dimebag Darrell sort of sounds if you want to. They're in there. But you can also get your high mid-push sort of sounds. You can get your Satriani sort of sounds out of it if you want to. You can get your anything, really. There's so very, very much you can get from it.
Would it be possible to just try the pedal again, but use the delay pedal just to sort of? Can I just have a go at that?
Do you want to chuck it through the Ibanez amp?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
James, can we put it through the Ibanez? If possible. Okay.
Beautiful thing about that noise gate. Listen to it without the noise gate.
That's pretty impressive.
So we will take questions from you. We'll do that very, very shortly. What we're going to do is just play with it. With I want to have a go on it. Check it through a couple of different amps. I'd be interested to see how it sounds through the transistor amp.
Yeah.
Because that is a very, very, very amp sounding pedal. It really is. You know, you get a lot of them and they sound quite. Well, they do what they want, like DS1 and that sort of thing. They just do what they do. They're fizz in a box.
I've heard, you know, some people say that some amps sort of take pedals better than others. Do you find that to be true?
Yeah, 100%. That's why Wampler, Brian's just created the new platform amp, which is basically a pedal platform amp. Lots of people are doing this. We are actually working on one as well, so that will fit on a pedal board. Hopefully we can get that to come out soon, sooner rather than later. Right, okay, let's have a go on this then. Let's chuck it through the Les Paul. And then what we'll do is we'll take your questions, see what we can come up with, and go from there. Right, let's see.
What amp are you using?
We're going to go through the Behringer, so for the transistor amp.
Start off with a low gain. Yeah?
Yep. But there's no two ways of getting around that one. It's got some cuts on it. Let's.
Okay.
Sorry. Does like I say, you can still tell it's a transistor amp, but I think it doesn't help that it's down quite low.
Play a riff, and I'll demonstrate that there's a bandwidth switch here, and it changes the amount of EQ that it affects, from what I can gather.
I'll chug away on E.
Yeah,
you
great idea.
Yeah. Stick it on the thinner side and then skip the mids. So that one. Turn that one. Sound. So, what does the bandwidth do? Okay. Right. If you've got your EQ, it will go, obviously, from bass to treble. And when you're selecting the amount, where you want to sit in that bass to treble, you can either, with this, if you've got the bandwidth on thin, your bandwidth looks a little bit like a radio tuner where it goes up and down. So when you choose the treble, you've got very much treble, and when you choose the bass, you've got
pinpointed.
Yeah. When you widen the bandwidth, you're collecting more of those frequencies, so you're going up and down.
In a group, basically, in a group.
Exactly. And that's what this does. Okay, and that's what it does really, really well. So rather than just having the bass, middle and treble, it gives you more options, really.
While you talk about that, someone had asked actually, said what is actually on the pedal? You've got a bass, mid, treble, noise gate, warp and drive. Is that it, or is there anything else on that?
Okay, so who asked that?
John Luxon.
Okay, John. John Luxon of Luxon Pedals. Right, okay, Luxtone. Right, okay, so you have, the first one is a cut and boost. So this one here is cut and boost, so literally unity drive there. As we boost it, volume boost, volume cut. This one here is your balance, so I will come back to that one. This is the high and low frequencies. As we said, this determines where that picks it up.
Thickness, yeah, the depth of frequencies that it grabs.
Exactly. So on here, we're picking up thinner bits of it, so we're pinpointing it more, and on here, we're grabbing bigger chunks of it. That is your drive, so it says warp, i.e. from Star Trek, obviously. So this is your warp. As we said, that's your bandwidth, and this is the noise gate control. This turns the noise gate on and off. This turns the pedal on and off. Boom. We should take some more questions. Any more questions from anyone?
Yeah, Dave Ashton said you're going to play some pistols with that guitar.
Yeah. Actually, Mr. Ashton made this. So, in Fuzz we trust.
I can play pistols if he wants pistols.
If you want pistols, we'll give you pistols.
No problems. What song do you want?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's the pedal overall. Let's chuck some pistols through it. Which guitar do you want the pistols through? This one? That would be, wouldn't it?
I suppose.
Yeah.
It looks a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks a bit that way, doesn't it?
Right, okay. What amp do you want it through?
The Marshall. I spoke for him.
These ones here, turn it up and down.
Really?
Oh, hang on.
Before you go into the pedals, why do you play your guitar upside down from the arm?
He comes from Australia.
No, it's not. The real reason is my dad was a blues musician from Dover, and he had a guitar, and it was an old Hofner Senator from 1960s, which I now own. And when I first started playing the guitar, he showed me a couple of chords, and he didn't have enough money to buy me my own guitar. So naturally, you know, when you're young and you just...
He was right-handed and you're left-handed.
Yeah, basically, when you're young, you won't say no. So I just started learning upside down, and incidentally, I learnt the whole of the Nevermind the Bollocks album on one string within about a couple of months. And then by the time my dad bought me a guitar, it was too late. I'd already learnt to play all, you know, your average chords as well. I learnt to play an album's worth of music. So, yeah.
You can play left-handed guitars as well, can't you?
Badly, yeah. same as this way.
Same as I play a right-handed guitar. All right. More questions?
Any more questions?
Nothing yet?
No.
Come on, guys. Right, okie dokie. Let's chuck it through some more amps and see what we can get. So we've got some pedals put down here. What I do want to show you is what it sounds like when you whack a compressor into the front of it. Whacking a compressor into the front of any drive pedal makes it drive more, right? So what we can do is we can set this up to... What's that sound like, mate? Sounds good. Right, I want to show you...
Another question, sorry. Can we hear it pushing an amp that's already set to a slightly dirty channel?
Okay, we'll set that up. I'll tell you what else I'll show you, which links into that, obviously, is with a clon style pedal, obviously, because... and with a tube screamer style pedal. So we've got the tube screamer in there. I'll show you how it stacks up with those, because stacking pedals is always great. Okay, so this is the... That's it into helps turning the Klon style pedal on and off. Here's the Ibanez Clean. Slightly.
On this one, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so noticeably the level dropped because obviously the amp's compressing more, but sounds really nice. That was nice, wasn't it? Yeah. Right, let's chuck it in through the Marshall. We'll set the Marshall up the same way. So I'll set it up so it's overdriving, but not as much. Like you see, slight break up. Okay, so play this and I'll adjust it.
Drew Hallenbeck, by the way, who asked that question.
Okay, Drew, hopefully you heard James there. Right, lovely. Okay, so I'm just going to reset that back onto clean because this doesn't have a clean and a crunch channel. It's got one that switches between the two. How does that sound? Okay, so what we're going to show you now is, unless there's any more questions, what we'll show you now. Is there more questions, James? Okay, what we're going to show you now is what it sounds like. I'm going to have a play of it. James is going to play the bass, if you're alright with that, yeah?
Yeah, cool, mate.
Yeah, and what it sounds like in a mix. Obviously, we haven't got a drummer. James can tap on the table if he wants. But, yeah, so let's switch this over. Chuck the bass in. Bass has got a bit of a dodgy jack, I think. It made a pop earlier, so if it starts doing that, we apologise. Right, but it only did it at once. Hopefully it'll be fine.
Window, yeah.
Throw it out of the window.
Oh, I ain't got no windows.
Oh, hang on. You're on the end of the lead. Might help.
Technical problems.
If anyone wants to hear pedals through the bass, we've got that facility as well. Oh, we high tech. I snapped my string. Same bloody string every time. Okay. So, right, okay. I hope you enjoyed that. If there's any more questions, do get to us on the, if you're watching this not live, put them on there and I'll try and get back to you.
Don't forget to subscribe to YouTube, sorry.
Yep, all of these will be going onto YouTube, and so you can rewatch them all. Obviously this is the first one, so there's not many on there at the moment. Subscribe for us, guys, and then you'll be able to catch up anything you miss. Thank you for joining us.
Nice one, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.